Okay, so it's been a minute. Let me see, where were we? Underground adventure, big scary burrowing monster, giant undead dragon that Lofus turned into a business partner. Aha! The desert! The gang was lost in a desert, and exhausted and a little beaten up, with no idea where they were or how to get out of there. Sparks, can you fly us out of here or teleport us or something? I'm out of magic at the moment. But you're the map guy. Can you at least tell us where we are? There are several deserts in the world. I would need to wait for nightfall and map out the local stars for an accurate reading. Uh-huh. So what you're saying is, you're useless. Affirmative. I can't tell if you're joking or not. As they continued to debate about what to do and where to go, they were interrupted by a rumbling in the ground. The clear skies and beating sun of the great desert revealed a massive structure, with pylons of magical energy sparking all around it, was moving towards them on giant metal tank treads. The party was in awe of this sight, but that awe turned to a concern as the giant moving fortress city stopped right in front of them. Maybe they're friendly? Before anyone could do anything, a little flying metal bird came down from the high walls. It looked like a tinker toy, with tiny cogs and wheels spinning about. It observed every member of the party, then flew back to its perch. A few moments later, a piece of the great wall opened up like a door, and a warforged walked out. It looked to be similar in design to Sparks. If it wasn't for the markings upon the strange warforged's body, you wouldn't be able to tell them apart. It looked directly at the party and spoke in a very robotic voice. Identify yourselves. You first! Shh! What? I don't take orders from soulless robots. No offense, Sparks. I am Unit 2761. My primary function is to greet any outsiders and assess potential threat. Identify yourselves, or be declared a threat. All threats will be eliminated. The party, still wary and tired and low on supplies, decided to forego a fight and introduce themselves. And for some extra protection, they presented their identifying markers as members of the Iron Gauntlet Guild. The Warforged then looked directly at Sparks. Your model resembles those made here. What is your identification number? Those words spiked memories inside of Sparks, who spoke without thinking. 1997. The welcoming party was silent, then spoke again. 1997. Welcome back. You have been MIA for many years. You must report for cleaning and new assigned duties. Now, hold on a minute, Lofus interjected. Sparks works for me. So if you want him, you'll have to make a fair trade. A real trade, 'cause he can do magic and it's pretty good. Despite some protests from some other party members, the Warforged that greeted us accepted and offered us entry into the Iron Citadel. Hold it. Before you can go in, all weapons need to be surrendered. They'll be returned to you when you leave. That policy was, normal, but not everyone went along with it. Lofus, Pleb, and Lamorak stayed outside because they didn't want to give up any of their weapons or armor. Bakhtuar, Itziko, and Sparks went into the city. The city was massive, a mechanical steampunk wonderland, where magical beings and automatons, such as Warforged and the little bird things, flew about, conducting work and observing everything. There was the occasional humanoid creature, but they were few and far between, easily outnumbered 100 to 1 by the magical automatons. Sparks, do you know this place? Yes. The evidence suggests I was created here. The moving citadel. A mobile fortress run by machines and magic. It moves all over the world in a pattern, seeking knowledge and occasionally engaging in trade. However, the citadel's rulers are removed from many of the politics of the wider world. The three of them were being taken to those same rulers. And soon, the three of them were brought into a massive iron tower and led into a debate room, a huge circular table with room for them to sit opposite 15 elderly humans. The humans wore robes that seemed a mix of lab coat and priestly robes. They said that Sparks needed to stay here, as he was created by a former member of this council. He was their property. They were telling the truth, despite the protests of Bakhtuar and Itsiko. You see, Sparks was created here, but that was decades, maybe even hundreds of years ago. Because of his ID number, 1997, he was the 1997th Warforged ever to be made. Not just here, but in the entire world. But something was odd. Most Warforged models, assuming they're being used for a purpose, only lasts between 80 and 100 years. So, why did Sparks last so long, especially in the adventuring lifestyle? He was created by a much more talented man. A man named Alphonse, who was an obsessive genius, master wizard, and Sparks's father. That name, Alphonse, the moment it was spoken, Sparks began to falter, almost passing out in a way, as memories came flooding back into his robotic mind like loud static. His organic creator, his purpose, now he knew why he loved maps so much. His original purpose was never to be a sorcerer, but a cartographer and a star charter, meant to assist Alphonse on his explorations of the world. He saw, in a memory, himself and his creator trekking down another untrodden road, and then a bolt of lightning, and then... Sparks! Good news, buddy. They said we can keep you. So it turns out, while these council members of the moving Citadel couldn't be bought, at least not with money, they could be bought with knowledge. They were scientists and experimenters, and only wanted one thing, knowledge they didn't already have. And Bakhtuar, being extremely clever and good with her hands, used a little bit of sleight of hand to make a special knot, and then used a very high charisma roll to convince the council that this was an ancient secret knot that nobody knew but her, and therefore made a deal. The knowledge of the knot for Sparks. Is it an ancient secret knot? Oh, no, I just made that up. We should get our supplies and get out of here before they get wise. And we did just that, gathering what supplies we needed, and quickly leaving to meet our friends on the outside. We also had to spend a large sum of money to get a giant steam crab tank thing so we didn't have to walk through the desert. As Itsiko and Bakhtuar informed the others of what happened inside the walls, Sparks just looked at his hands, having little bits of magical electricity bounce between his metal fingertips. And he thought back on Alphonse and that bolt of lightning. For a brief moment, that act of nature, that unfortunate accident, seemed so intentional, like there was a purpose or a consciousness behind that lightning. He swore in that bright bolt of lightning he saw a smile.